You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to the Factor Uncensored. Thank you for joining us for this second half hour. Now, all week long, we'll be bringing you stories from one of Texas's biggest festivals, South by Southwest. Our cameras were there for one of the festival's more serious discussions, gun violence, and how it's terrorizing young people. I spoke with Representative Congressman Maxwell Frost, the first Gen Z member of Congress, and Samantha Fuentes, an activist who survived the Parkland mass shooting. It was a nightmare when 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz pulled out a weapon back in February 2018. He cut down 17 people at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
I was in a situation that was devastating. I was shot. I saw people die. I survived through something that was terrible.
Justice is also about making sure that no one's left behind.
Samantha Fuentes was one of the survivors of that deadly shooting in Parkland.
One bullet in my leg, 15 stitches to close it.
We caught up with her at South by Southwest in Austin, where she served on a panel addressing gun violence in America and telling the public how they can get involved.
If you know that your city has, problems with suicide or police brutality or, just things in general with violence, these are things that you can get involved with. Get on a board, talk to your representatives, and get involved. I know not all of us can, protest in D.C. and not always show up to everything, but you can start, really just in your own backyard.
But we want you to know that you must keep going. You must persist because we need you. Your community needs you. I need you. Your loved ones need you.
Fuentes has become an activist who crisscrosses the country, bringing attention to gun violence. She even made a stop in Uvalde, Texas recently to visit the families of the children who lost their lives in that tragic shooting at Robb Elementary just last May.
All of these decisions to be an activist, to care about the cause, was because I was pushed in that corner. And I didn't really get to choose that for myself. When you're traumatized like that, sometimes it feels like activism is the only way out, and to care about something bigger than yourself so you can feel like not everything is so terrible all the time.
For legislation to make sure that this never happens to anyone.
Fuentes wasn't alone on that panel at South by Southwest. Florida Congressman Maxwell Frost, one of the youngest people in the U.S. Congress, can also relate to gun violence.
I always say Gen Z is the mass shooting generation. It feels like we've been through more mass shooting drills than fire drills. You wake up every day, you go on Twitter, you see these shootings. You go home, there's a mass shooting in your community. I survived gun violence October in 2016 on Halloween, and we have everyday gun violence, right? So this is something that's really, unfortunately, a defining characteristic of a generation.
The congressman says after these deadly shootings in America, we need more than just well wishes and sympathy for the victims and families. Frost says there absolutely needs to be more action taken by the public and elected officials.
What do you hope the people in this venue walk away with after hearing you? What message do you want them to receive?
I want people to understand how serious this issue is, and that is a public crisis, but then I also want them to leave this with a conviction that they want to be involved. And what people think is when we talk about being involved, we're not just saying out on the streets protesting. That's part of it, but take what makes you unique. How do you fight for justice every day in your life, in your school, in your work? Imagine a world where our business leaders, clergy, teachers, leaders, everybody saw the world through the eyes of the most vulnerable. We might not be having this conversation right now.
Frost and Fuentes are both hoping their appearances at South by Southwest ends the apathy by the public.
Do you ever get frustrated that more people are not involved? Go ahead.
All the time. I'm very frustrated. I think that everybody knows that we have a problem with gun violence in this problem. I know that everybody knows that people are dying every single day due to this problem. But it just needs to hurt a little more for people. It needs to be more real for them so they're not desensitized. They need to hear the stories of survivors. They need to see this devastation and understand it to really care about it. Because when we're just being presented factoids and statistics about all these people who die, we don't actually get the human human experience. We're able to disconnect. We're able to detach from those people. But really, ultimately, at the end of the day, these are human lives that we're talking about, that we're neglecting, that we're just putting away to the side. And once we humanize the problem and stop glorifying violence and stop glorifying these people who enact violence, this is really when people are going to start connecting with the problem at the source.
And of course, sticking to South by Southwest, it brings all kinds of people from around the world. All of that foot traffic is great for Austin's local business and of course the economy.
It's food truck time. Let's talk to Trent.
Yeah.
Trent, so how's business going for South by Southwest?
Dude, this is my first South by Southwest working for Borough, and it's been amazing. Yesterday was absolutely off the hook. The line was all the way across. Everyone's loving the grilled cheese. Everyone's having a good time. It's been fun.
And it's always good when people show up hungry as hell, right?
Dude, they gotta be hungry. Hey, don't show up if you're not hungry.
And so what are some of the things you guys have on the menu here?
We've got grilled cheese, we've got grilled cheese, we've got grilled cheese, and then we've got grilled cheese with smoked brisket.
So what makes your grilled cheese so damn special?
We do a slightly toasted with these like propane things that we just light them up. Slightly toasted, throw them on the grill, and then we've got like caramelized onions, pepperonis, the spicy maple bacon, the smoked brisket. It's the best. On the sourdough, it's the best grilled cheese you could have.
But financially, you guys are looking good this South by Southwest.
We're looking great.
So far, it's busy. I hear there's a lot of occupancy in the hotels, and we got more ads coming up. We got charters going, so I think it's going to be a pretty good South by.
So are you feeling the trickle down in your damn pockets, Juan?
It's better than last year and the year before, so yes, it's feeling a lot better now.
So it feels like we know technically the pandemic is not over, but it feels like it is.
It does, and I have noticed there's definitely more people in town. There's bigger crowds. It's getting better.
Okay.
So yeah, I do feel it.
And are they tipping properly?
Yes, they're definitely tipping properly. After the pandemic, they've been tipping better. And I think they just look at the service industry a little bit differently. And they're like, hey, these guys are working hard. They're out here, and they're being pretty generous.
And so is there a motor on this? Is this electronic? Like an e-bike? What?
They are electric assist. We do have to pedal, but the motor does do a lot of the work. So yeah, they pretty much almost all the cabs out here have been electric assist for like the last 4 years.
And do you kind of frown when a big person like my size show up? All right, take me, Juan.
Actually, when I get the heavy rides, they tip better. So yeah, I was gonna say, and we just don't go as fast, but they're doable.
But so far, South by Southwest is going well for you.
Yes, so far it's looking pretty good.
See there, big people tip well.